Alabama won the SEC championship. I'm going to tell you the top 5 reasons that the Crimson Tide took care of the Georgia Bulldogs. Welcome to Bama Tailgate Daily. This is the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. I want you guys to be part of the tailgate party. It's so easy to do. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up if you're a big Alabama fan. Roll Tide, everybody. Let's get this thing going. Oh, the excitement continues. Roll Tide. I'm Mick Gillispie. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for hanging out at Broadcaster Mick on the socials. Let's talk about Alabama's win over the Georgia Bulldogs, a team and a program that I have a ton of respect for, and that starts with Kirby and the two-time defending champs. You don't get wins like this over average teams. They're significant because of the opponent that you beat to win those games, right? And Georgia, top-notch, class act, and I have nothing but respect for them. So let me give you the top 5 reasons that Alabama took out the Georgia Bulldogs, presented by Pearl River Resort over in Choctaw, Mississippi, in the Timeout Sports Lounge. Number 5, Georgia injuries. Yeah, man, I got to say this, and it's a little bit of payback. I mean, what comes up must come down, right? I remember the Alabama season in 99. Remember they won down in the swamp against the Florida Gators because Florida missed an extra point. And then we played Tom Brady and Michigan in the Orange Bowl, and we missed an extra point. We lost. Same exact thing. It was so weird, right? Well, Georgia beat Alabama in 2021 when Jamison Williams went out. If he doesn't go out, we're going to win that football game. We lost Mechie the first time we played him and beat him in the SEC championship game. Then we lost him. You know, Jamison went out, and then all of a sudden it's like we didn't have anybody to throw to. Guys, Ajay Hara trying to catch the ball like this. Get on out of here and take your Twitter with you. Well, it's not an excuse. It's the bottom line. It's how teams win, and it's how teams lose. Brock Bowers and McConkey weren't themselves. Like, let's be honest, man. Bowers is one of the most explosive players in the game. He was injured earlier this year. He came back. He's not 100%. McConkey's a great player. He looked like he had some kind of knee thing going on. Who knows, man? But those guys weren't 100%. After the first drive, Bama made adjustments. They knew that those guys weren't beating them, and they took care of business. You still got to win the game, and it's a team isn't 2 guys. But you know what? It definitely helped Alabama win this game. It's not the only reason, but I'm going to say that that's part of the reason. And I feel like that's just a little bit of karma after what happened in 2021. Number 4, how Alabama won this game, why they won the game, because the Bama fans this year have kicked ass. You guys have been there, man. Nick Saban was like, all right, we're playing Tennessee. We got to have you, make a lot of noise. Bryant-Denny was amazing. LSU comes to town. They got Jaden Daniels. They're a team that is really tough. Best offense that we saw this season so far. We need the crowd, and in you guys came, and you made a lot of noise, and you made it very difficult on the opposition. I don't know if it was 60-40, 70-30 Saturday in Atlanta. Maybe Georgia fans are broke from traveling so much and winning all these championships too. In the last 2 years, they've made it to where it's expensive to follow the teams anymore. Bottom line is that Atlanta is a home game normally for Georgia because, I mean, look, they're Georgia, and Georgia is where Atlanta's located. We took over. You guys took over. You made a lot of noise. It was a home game for us. We had the crowd. We took advantage of that, and it's one of the reasons why Alabama has put themselves in this position. It's you guys. It's the people who have supported this team, who have showed up, who have made noise. Fans make a difference, man. I mean, look at how tough it is to play on the road. This should have been a road game. I've been to these SEC championship games against Georgia where there's so many of them, and it sounds like it's a home game for them. That wasn't the case on Saturday. So pat yourselves on the back because you're one of the reasons why Alabama is SEC champs. Number 3, let's get into this right here. Milroe making plays. Some of you are still not bought in on Milroe. You see the fact that the guy has some things to work on. You look at it and you say, hey, you know what? He could be better at reading. He's not throwing guys open. He makes mistakes. He holds the ball too long. And I'm not disagreeing with that. But cut the guy some slack here, man. I mean, he just won the SEC. He's tough. He runs. He throws. Like, he's got a beautiful deep ball. The team's bought into him. This is the guy that they feel like deserves to be in that spot. He's a playmaker. For those of you that haven't figured it out yet, ask Auburn. We're in this until we're not in it because of him and because of his ability to make plays. He's got all of the tools. He's a tremendous athlete. He's turning into a pretty good quarterback, and he's only a sophomore. You know, who knows? Maybe he's got a few more years left, maybe just one. I don't know. But what I will tell you is that he was the difference in this football game of all the players. Watching Georgia's offense, when those 2 targets were kind of neutralized, you know, they were okay, but it wasn't great. Alabama did an excellent job of pressuring the quarterback, which obviously that hasn't happened a lot to Georgia. Milroe, he can run. And when Alabama needed the big plays in this game, he made them. I think that he has the potential to be Alabama's version of, Bo Jackson. Yeah, Bo Jackson. I'm not comparing him to any of the Alabama Heisman Trophy winners because he's so different. I'm not saying he's a Major League Baseball and NFL football player. I'm just saying this guy is athletic like no one I can remember. It's like having Derrick Henry as your running back and then Cam Newton as your quarterback. Yeah, another Auburn reference, right? But we haven't had anybody like this. It transcends what Alabama's able to do because when everything else is taken away from you, this guy he might run over you, he might run past you, he might run around you, but he's making plays and he is exciting. There's going to be a lot of players who are hit the transfer portal, who are in high school that say, you know what, this is the kind of guy I want to play with. And on Saturday against Georgia, he was the difference maker. When they're trying to run the clock out, he called his own number. Yeah, Milroe, he's a difference maker, and he's the 3rd highest rated reason that Alabama won this game. All right, number 2. How many of you guys got sick and tired of Pete Golding as the defensive coordinator? I mean, we just played the guy that had the job before him, Kirby Smart. I don't remember anyone, and I've been covering Alabama since before Kirby got there, ever going, you know what, we've got to do something about this defensive coordinator and Kirby Smart. No one ever said that because he was great and he was patient and waited for this job because he wanted this job. And then we get Pete Golding, and it was like managing the decline. Like every year we were a little bit worse than we were the year before. Is he a bad coordinator? No. But it was time to move on. He goes to Ole Miss, and we get Kevin Steele. And Kevin Steele makes adjustments, man. How many games this season has the defense adjusted in the second half? Think about the first drive of that football game. Yeah. How many of you guys were going, maybe we bit off more than we can chew against these Georgia Bulldogs, right? And that's what's happened to the rest of college football. 29 games they've won in a row, including beating Alabama in the 2021 championship game. But we made adjustments. Kool-Aid goes out. Amos comes in. Amos makes plays. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's a machine going right now. Steele has been great. And I think most of you guys watching agree with me. I think he was a huge, significant pickup for Alabama in the offseason and a big upgrade. But what about Tommy Rees, right? Well, Tommy Rees, man, a young guy, kind of the exact opposite of Steele, who's been there and done that. He's like that Johnny Cash song. I've been everywhere, man. The opposite with Rees. I mean, he spent some time at Notre Dame, and then he comes to Alabama, and guess what? You see the creativity. This is the problem that Alabama had last year with Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien, a former NFL head coach and this and that, and there was just no creativeness. Well, it's there now. We're going to shift guys. We're going to move guys around. We're going to use the RPO game. If we need it, we'll draw up a trick play. We're going to get the ball to our playmakers. Here's Isaiah Bond. Here's Jermaine Burton. How about the play call, the pass to Jam Miller? Those are the type of things that a great offensive coordinator does. This guy's like 31, 32 years old, getting it done, both sides of the ball. It took a little while for the coordinators to kind of get to where they are right now, but they're getting their ring sizes. Yeah, that probably is going to happen, if it hasn't already, soon, because they just won the SEC, and that is a big deal. But the number one reason that Alabama won the SEC championship over Georgia, yeah, you know why. The Saban factor. How many of you Alabama fans, and I want to hear about this in the comment section, how many of you guys were around before Saban? Some of you guys remember the Bear, and I'm guessing that this is probably pretty close to what it felt like. That was before my time for the most part, right? What I remember is hearing all the stories about the Bear and then watching Alabama with our high expectations lose the big games, not make the adjustments, come up a little bit short against some of our biggest rivals. I was in school when the thumb and then the next finger came out. I remember losing to Tennessee a bunch of times when Philip Fulmer was there, right? I remember we couldn't beat LSU. Saban shows up, and from that point on, Alabama became the focal point of college football. You want to know why Alabama's in the national championship, why they're playing for the title, how they got in? It's because there's a guy on the sideline that's the greatest that's ever done it. You can't leave him out. Look, a tip of the cap to Florida State and, their struggle bus championship over Louisville. Alabama just knocked off Georgia, who is 40-0 against everyone else and 1-2 against Nick Saban over the last how many games, right? What this guy's doing right now is historic. And I think all of us at this point realize that. And if we don't, then maybe we need to. But I'm guessing that I'm not telling anyone anything they don't already know. He believes. When this team was struggling at the beginning of the season and we're doing the press conference and we're watching, and he comes out and he's like, I still believe in this team. I think that this team can still accomplish everything that they want to accomplish, right? And you're going, they might not win 4 games. They might not win 5 games. I mean, you're looking at the schedule and you're going, yeah, Texas beat you. You just got by this awful South Florida team. And here comes Lane Kiffin, and he's trolling the crap out of you. What's going to happen? And then in the second half of that football game, Lane, and I don't want to call it disrespect, but whatever it was, you could see things starting to click for Alabama. The Saban factor started to take shape. The team had to buy into it. This is a world of transfer portal and NIL. I don't want to play if I'm not going to make any money. I don't want to be there if we're not playing for a championship, right? And Saban never talks about championships, and he never talks about wins. He talks about the process, right? The process of doing things the right way. And that's why Alabama has continued to be champions. Got to keep an eye on Kirby Smart, because that guy's not going anywhere. And I know David Pollock, you think he's the best coach in college football, but the Alabama players know they're playing for the best coach ever in college football. Not just right now. The guy who we're going to be talking about for eternity in this game. The Saban factor, the number one reason that Alabama is the SEC champs. They're playing Michigan, New Year's, and the granddaddy of them all, Roll Tide, everybody. That's number 30 for the Crimson Tide. And Alabama continues to dominate in Atlanta for these guys right here. All right, thanks for hanging out with us. I want to know what your top 5 is. Get in the comment section and let me know. Message us up. Tell me what you think. I'm Mick Gillispie. Roll Tide, everybody. And we will talk to you again really soon. And, hey, if you're not part of what we're doing here, it's so easy, man. And it's free. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, Roll Tide.